there are rising demands for participation in decision making in economic and political life. So, for example, more people go voting and take part in some NGOs and so on. There is a shift in child-rearing values from emphasis on hard work toward imagination and tolerance, and so on and so on. So how do you think, where would you place Sweden?
Self-expression.
Self-expression. Denmark?
The same.
The same. What about Poland?
Close to.
Close to Sweden?
No.
No, close to survival, yes?
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see in the map. There are a few maps. You will find a few different versions of the maps. I will show. So Sweden is here, Denmark here, and Poland is right here. But this is the map from one of the previous waves. And when we go to the next slide, and you can see that the researchers make a little mistake. Sweden is here, Denmark here, so actually in the corner, yes. But Poland is so different from the rest of Europe that they forgot to put this in light green. And actually we are in the cluster of South Asia. But if we go to the next, this one. Here they didn't forget. So you can see that Catholic Europe is here, and Poland is here. And the next one, and the next one, because I put a lot of maps from different years here. Okay, Sweden and Denmark don't change. And here they put Poland between Africa and Islamic and Latin America. So I just wanted to show you that this is the way people think. Yes, it's maybe this depends somehow on economic growth. This dimension. But the other one is about traditional values and secular rational values. Yes.
And in what way do you think politics influences this? Because in Poland right now it's quite nationalistic. But if you had another government, do you think that would you put Poland somewhere else then?
Actually, I wouldn't. I wouldn't because this is the wave from the time when we have a different government. So actually, I think in the newest ways, Poland might be even more traditional. It's because of some fears in the society. Poland is strong uncertainty avoiding culture. I will tell you something about that a little bit later. But the Polish don't like new things, don't like innovation. They like security and stability. And if every person that is, it's a kind of generalization, yes, I now say, but statistically, the Polish like something that they know very well. And for example, these are the traditional values. And we have democratic voting, and in this democratic voting, we have such government. So more or less, I think this government might reflect the beliefs of some people in Poland. But I don't want to talk too much about politics because everyone has different views on that. It's like from the group of people that can vote, that have the right to vote, not everyone appeared to voting. So actually, the statistics say that around 18% of the people of adult people who can vote chose that government. So it's not like that Poland is intolerant and nationalistic and so on. But there are some people that think like that, and I think this is also reflected in this map.
And also, again, isn't it right to say that
values are changed at a very, very slow pace, much slower than the changes within politics and governments. It takes 100 years to change values and change the map.
Yes, it takes a lot of years, and we have to remember about Polish history. If we are just talking about Poland, because Poland was a very closed country for many years, and there are not many immigrants in Poland. There are a lot of people in small villages that haven't seen a person that is not Polish, and what's more, that is not Catholic, because 90%, more than 90% of the Polish are Catholics. So it's the fear. I think it's the fear of someone new, something new, and we shouldn't judge people by that, but try to educate, I think, and that's the proper way, I think. And okay, so any more questions concerning the map or views? Yes.
Chodzi mi o te pewne wartości,
I mean the
tak,
values.
że u nas, bynajmniej ja obserwuję ze swojego podwórka, tak, że jednak
What I
następuje rozluźnienie więzi rodzinnych, o których
Where I come
wcześniej u
from,
nas
the
to się nie
family
mówiło
ties get
jednak, tak.
loosened.
Co, jesteśmy świadkami wielkiej takiej izolacji osób starszych.
We
No,
observe
kiedyś dzieci
huge
opiekowały
isolation
się
of
rodzicami,
the
teraz
elderly.
coraz częściej
In the past,
tego nie ma.
children took
Kwestie
care of parents.
umieszczenia
Now,
w
no more.
DPS-ach i tak dalej.
people are placed in social aid homes.
A
And so
kiedy
on.
nie było tej globalizacji, tych nowych technologii, o tym się nie
When
mówiło.
the globalization was not in place,
rodzinność i dzieci się
there
opiekowali
was no issue of that. Children used to take care of their parents.
Dzieci wyjeżdżają na przykład za granicę
Now kids
i
go
nie ma
abroad.
tego, że na przykład ja muszę się opiekować rodzicem, tak?
And they don't
Zadowolenie
take
się
care
na służby.
about their parents anymore.
A czy to jest dobre?
Is that good?
What do you think?
I think it has to, it's like, if we speak about individuals and the science, like then the government has to take a better, like you cannot leave everything to the children, that they have to take care of, so it has to be build a system that of course like you have to be close to your parents, but at the same time you have to be able to live your own life as well. So if you create a system that takes care of your parents, then it's better for both, I think.
Pokazanie różnicy.
My point was slightly different. I wanted to show the difference,
Okay.
Ta zmiana.
the change that is taking place.
Okay.
I think it's interesting. She says they don't care
Yeah.
about, and I think that's the value that beneath the iceberg, because you don't necessarily don't care about your parents if you have been nursing home, taking care of them, and you just visit them and check on them and talk to them, but you don't necessarily change their diapers or take them to shower and wash them. So it's a definition of how we care about our parents.
Going abroad could be a part of taking care of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's a good point here to
Bycie
show.
rozumiem też wieloletko, tak? Bo to można przez Skype'a i telefonicznie,
I know
ale
you can
żeby to
use
robić.
Skype and telephone.
W naszych wartościach było zakorzenione, że dzieci się opiekują swoimi rodzicami, tak? Teraz oczywiście jest grupa osób, które nadal to robią, pomimo że osoby są umieszczane w różnych placówkach, ale jest też grupa osób i ta grupa cały czas rośnie i rośnie, która wręcz przerywa kontakt ze swoimi rodzicami, zerwane są relacje i tu nastąpiła ta taka z naszych obserwacji drastyczna zmiana, tak?
This is the drastic change that is taking place. And they say we are a religious state.
I think the first thing is all the researchers in cultural values say that maybe not the core values, but the way people think shifts, and the older generation is usually different than the younger generation. But when we compare, for example, the older person from Sweden and Poland, they will be different in the same way as the younger Swedes and the younger Poles.
But maybe since your entry to the European Union, you could go more freely abroad, and maybe the people that are staying in Poland keep the core values more close to heart because they don't go abroad. This is just a guessing, okay?
I agree with
maybe,
that.
Maybe that's why your core values right now are a bit static, but I think it's going to change when the people who have been abroad gets back and start changing from within in the society.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a good point because people just observe what others do, and if we see that, for example, in Sweden, children love their parents, and the sign of this love is to let them live have good care in some other place, sometimes even better care that they would get at home, might be a sign of love.
Yeah, of course, I agree with you, but we have another problem in Sweden, which is, I think it's a result of the individualistic ways, and it's loneliness. And that's a big problem, especially with the elderly. Their friends maybe had disease earlier than them, and then the kids have work to do, and
They don't have time for it.
they don't have time. So that's
We don't take the time.
we don't take the time. Maybe we don't have the time. We don't take the time. So that's a problem too with the individualistic side of it.
Yes. Actually, the societies shift in some directions. So I think that if we have some new ideas how to care about elderly people, then it's not something bad to do that. But we have to. I think it's not intercultural.